Hello. So I read the decision from SCOTUS, and it's a bit disturbing. Um, the separation of powers means that one branch of government does not have any authority to tell the other branch how to do things or what to do, as long as it falls within the line of Constitution. And I guess my big problem here is that SCOTUS decision would allow previous presidential orders to carry over into the next presidential term and make that binding. And that kind of defies the whole purpose of terms.
What president does should not carry over into the next president's term. Yeah,
Things like inflation, which is, the crackheads in DC spending money uh, via a black card that we finance. And I'm definitively not happy about that. But what is being attempted right now through Doge and other measures of responsibilities gets kind of discounted by the SCOTUS decision. But at the same point in time, um, Biden said, screw SCOTUS last time regarding the college loan bailouts and such, which I believe that the IRS should go back and collect from every single person that received them. Or actually, I want the IRS to go away, so U.S. Marshals would suffice. Um, or they could draft other agencies and law enforcement to do that. My thing is that a presidential term has to be defined by that president, and when you allow the former president to dictate something that carries on into the next term, I believe that that is by definition unconstitutional. That violates the whole terms part. So that's where my problem lies with this. It's it's kind of a mind bender for me anyway. And I'll try to keep this short because I know that I can talk entirely too long. But my thoughts are that I believe agencies, first of all, I believe that 99% of all agencies should simply go away. They're useless. Tips on a bull, screen door on a submarine, you pick it. Um, they are beyond useless, and they're generally used to circumvent every uh, what is known as enumerated power that's granted. ATF, IRS, pick one. They all try to circumvent liberties uh, and rights, and by rule, which means that you live under bureaucratic rule instead of by law. So that's why I want them to go away. Uh, my main thing would be that is that oversight is probably not even aware of how many agencies there are. And they certainly don't take the time to make sure that they are handled properly. There is no phrase in the Constitution anywhere that says you may create a like that says you can create a category that says the hell with the Constitution. Otherwise, you go by bureaucratic rule because there is no court of rules. However, they are all punishable under weight of law. That will have to wait. And that's my biggest problem. I My family's history in the military goes back to essentially the day we set foot in this country, several hundred years on both sides. And with each agency created, your liberty, your freedoms, your rights become less. At no point in time, and I hate that I've gotten into politics. I don't. I despise what I see. I am. Uh, I have been to state legislator meetings, and the difference between what I see in state legislature versus what I see on uh, the national scene with federal, I'm embarrassed at the federal level. I am very pleased with the state level. It is like watching two, while both man and dog are animals, we're different family, chordata and all that. And it is essentially the same there. It's almost genetically different. Um, and I don't understand why all these people who supposedly have law degrees, and what I highly recommend to the vast majority of you is to beg the school for a refund and take that sales receipt you have on your wall and throw it the hell away, because you misrepresent everything that law stands for. Law is very simple in its nature. It is to the best of ability to prevent harm, and uh, should harm be inflicted, then to mete out punishment for that. Uh, that is the core function of law. Uh, it's order, and failing to meet that order has penalties and consequences. Um, but I feel that here's the deal: the legislature allocates our stolen dollars, and it's up to the executive to spend our stolen dollars. The executive has to sign the checks. Now, in last session, we saw Biden say, "Screw you" to SCOTUS, when SCOTUS said, "No, you can't just gift everybody money," and Biden said, "Hell with that, I'm doing it anyway." And I didn't even see the outrage that I expected from the quote unquote Republican side. And if you look at my stuff on X, I have the pound Republicans, and I will read you my definition of that. Uh, Republican, a useless piece of dog shit characterized by having the spine of a jellyfish, bought and paid for by Jews, former pedophiles, or any combination of the three. Liars, generally guilty of treason and no longer of or for the people. That is my definition of Republicans. And that is the vast majority of what the Republican Party is composed of. Uh, I want all of them out of office, period. You are dealing with compromised people who are no longer of the people and have not been of the people since 1855, when they went on salary, when they went away from actually having consequence for their actions. Once you go on salary, you don't have any consequences. You're good. You're Gucci. You're unaffected. Um, and I've heard the justifications for that, and there is not enough justification for that in my mind ever, and never will be. Um, I don't know. I think that was a really bad decision. You're trying to, in the last session you said you're not allowed to spend this money, and in this session you're trying to say you must spend this money. And so, what I would advise President Trump to do is to completely ignore the SCOTUS decision, as did Biden, and not spend it. my thoughts. There you go.